What's going on, you guys? AJ Tucker here with AJ Self Defense, and I was not going to talk about this scenario that went down last week at a youth football game where Mike Hickmon died. And this is real close to me, man. Lancaster, Texas, probably about a 20-minute drive from me. And the coach who died, who was killed, you know, I know people who know him, and they all said the same thing: stand-up guy, amazing person, and things of that nature. And so I'm going to read this article first, and then I'm going to give my take on, thoughts on youth sport as a whole, but what I think about this particular scenario. So there's an article that states the Talib Brothers, bullying was a problem before youth football coach's death, officials say. So I'm just going to read this article out real quick. It was a meaningless scrimmage between a pair of 9-year-old and under football teams from different leagues on a sun-baked, dingy, ugly football field in Lancaster Community Park that ended with countless lives forever changed. Coaches, players, fans, and officials will never forget the day they saw a coach dying on the field, his body riddled with bullets. Michael Hickmon, a 43-year-old father and grandfather, expected to enjoy an afternoon of football with his family. The North Texas alumni would coach his son, little Mike, and the rest of the Dragon Elite Academy players as they prepared for a season, while his wife, Kenyatta, I hope I said that right, videotaped the game. The Dragons won the game, but Hickmon, whose death last weekend made national headlines, didn't make it home. Aqib Talib, the brother of former NFL star Aqib Talib, arrested on murder charge Monday after allegedly shooting Hickmon during an altercation after the game. He turned himself in to authorities where he was waiting a bond hearing. According to the arrest warrant, Lancaster police responded to a shooting at 8:09 Saturday evening. They found Hickmon suffering from gunshot wounds to his chest, back, and forearm. So he took multiple shots. He didn't just shoot once. He was trying to take him out. Hickmon was taken to the Methodist Central Hospital in Dallas, where he died at 8:47 p.m. This kind of violence is not happening just in Dallas-Fort Worth area. And then to talk about how violence is escalating in youth sports as a whole. And I've seen that happen too. My son is in AAU basketball. We go from, like Mansfield to Duncanville to Plano, and we see it in some of those places as well. 2 weeks ago, shots were fired near a youth football game in Pittsburgh. Oh, that's the story. I don't want to cover everything that's happening. All right, hold on. Let's see here. So one thing, they made a good point. They said they need to have these games at stadiums instead of fields where you just walk up into it. They need metal detectors. They need real police officers. The leagues can afford it with all the fees they charge. They need to stop being cheap, someone said. Aqib Talib, a 36-year-old five-time Pro Bowl player who has retired in 2020 after 12 seasons, finances the North Dallas United Bobcats. Aqib's son plays running back, while his brother's son plays quarterback. Aqib Talib recently joined Amazon TV Thursday Night Football as an analyst. The Talibs have a reputation. Now, this is something I wanted to touch on. They have a reputation for trash talking and being confrontational at youth football games, several league officials say. If you've been around the youth football world, you know the Talib guys don't like to lose, and they give everybody a hard time. The president said, I would call it rambunctious and overly aggressive. In the youth football world, if somebody is crying about a call, you might say, stop whining, quit crying. They don't laugh at those things. They get personal. The Talib's reputation begs the question why DA would schedule a scrimmage against an organization known for creating hostile environments. That's probably the question we're going to regret asking for a long time. In the past, the Talib brothers haven't given us problems like that. Let's see here. You know how somebody can be a bully, but they're not necessarily a bully to everybody. Yeah, that's pretty much how bullying works. She used to always talk to them ahead of time. So she's basically saying that if she were there, she probably could have talked them down, but, that's after the fact. And then Kerry Lewis, who coaches DA's 9-year-old and under team, coach Aqib Talib's cue to his friend several years ago. It makes it even crazier to actually know the shooter. Lewis is exhausted mentally and physically, so basically he's told the story so many times. I'm trying to make it positive, but it's hard. I was 2 feet away from the man when he got shot. Let's see here. Man, this is crazy, man. So Hickman died after the game ended. His son's team, the Dragons, led 13-7 late in the fourth quarter. According to people who were at the scrimmage, the Bobcats had apparently stopped the Dragons on 4th and 1, giving them one last chance to score. But the Bobcats ruined their chance. The referees penalized the team for taunting after the play, and Dragons retained possession. Aqib Talib, according to several people, was angry and walked onto the field to argue with the officials, who eventually called the game. So no respect for the officials, just like, you know what, I'm going to walk up on them. Once the game ended, one of the Bobcat coaches took the game ball, which belonged to the Dragons. Hickman, who had been handling the down marker as part of the 3-man chain gang during the game, he went to retrieve it. He knocked the ball out of the opposing coach's hand, and then someone kicked the ball. Suddenly, a melee began as several people began attacking Hickman. So several people were attacking him at once, and he started swinging the down marker. So, yeah, if multiple people are attacking you, if you let those people attack you and you go down, they're pretty much going to stomp you out. And you're in the heat of the moment. You're trying to defend yourself. So, yeah, man, he's swinging that thing. He's probably just trying to get them back, you know. Let's see here. Where was I? A 30-second video clip of the incident is all over social media. It ends with a man shouting, "Jesus, Jesus," as he hears 5 gunshots. So 5, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 gunshots. A man wearing a black hoodie, identified as Aqib Talib in the warrant, can be seen firing a semi-automatic weapon. "I'm disappointed, but I'm surprised because I know how Q is," said Keith Hodge, who met... Oh, no, he said he's not surprised. Who met the Talib brothers about 8 years ago when his son played youth football. Q has always been the big brother bodyguard type. Aqib Talib was always always had the football thing going and handling the business, and Q was always the street one. Why the hell you need a street guy to run a football team? But maybe he was probably just talking about their whole life, as like, you know, like when they know him. Because the family business, when one person goes to the NFL, has a 12-year career, makes a lot of money, he basically is the business. And so I can see how the brother could be a right-hand man, kind of the muscle. On Thursday, Aqib Talib's lawyer said he had interviewed more than 20 witnesses and believed Hickman initiated the argument. So here's the thing. Like I said, man, I live over here. And right when it happened, man, a bunch of people who were there, people who were there at the situation, they're not saying the same thing. All right, so I don't want to get too much into it, but they're not saying the same thing. But if you got a high-powered lawyer, they're going to find some witnesses. So he's already going to work. First, you got to get Talib to keep. Oh, damn, I can't say that. Wait a minute. What are their names again? I'm getting their names mixed up. And I know the name. I've been seeing them play football forever. Aqib Talib. So you got to get Aqib Talib off first, and then they'll work on getting the brother off, because they got to make sure he doesn't go to jail. Let's see here. On Thursday, the lawyer, with everyone out there who had cameras, someone will have a video that shows it. Yeah, you're going to pick the video that shows the angle that you want. Let's see here. What else is there? Man, that's sad. The kid who scored the touchdown says, "If I never scored that touchdown, my coach will still be here." And that's a lot for a kid to hold on to, man. That's hard. And it's not true. If the guy didn't pull out the gun and start shooting, then the coach would still be there, you know. And the thing is, the family, Mike Hickman's family, is calling for not only the brother, but Talib to get taken in. And I'm getting these names. Hold on, let me bring it. Okay, hold on. I said his last name, not his first name. Let me get these names right in front of me so I can know what the heck I'm talking about over here, because this is getting out of... They have some very... Okay, Aqib, he's the one that played football in the NFL for 12 years. Of course, the one with the money. And then the brother, I'm not going to say his name, because if I say his name, I'm going to forget Aqib's name, right? So from what I've heard and what I've read on certain stories is that Aqib Talib walked up on the field and instigated the argument. And, you know, this article is stating that they're always like overly aggressive and things of that nature. Now, here's the thing. If I'm at a game, because my son's 11 years old, and he was like 8 when he started playing AAU basketball. And, man, I hate when coaches are like overly aggressive like that. It's ridiculous, because not only are, you know, you're antagonizing, but you're sitting there being overly aggressive around kids. And it's like, that's very distracting for the kids. And some people might say, oh no, but they need to learn. It's absolutely ridiculous when parents are getting into fights and doing all that extra stuff at these games, man. Now the family is calling for Aqib to be held responsible as well. And here's the thing, part of me agrees with that, because the thing is, like, let's say if you're a mafia boss, and I'm not saying he's a criminal or anything like that, but let's say you're a mafia boss who's gone legit, right? But you still keep your goon, you still keep your right-hand man by your side. You get into an altercation. Your right-hand man comes up, pow, 5 shots, blast the person. You're going to be held responsible for that. They're going to hold you. Or let's say, there was a story where the wife, she hired a hitman to take out her husband, and the husband caught her and got evidence about that. She ended up going to jail. So in those scenarios, when you get somebody to do something for you and on your behalf, you can be held liable. So in this situation, it's pretty much the same type stuff. But if you got money, you got good lawyers, they're gonna spin it. They're gonna spin this thing. This thing is gonna get spent over the next couple of weeks. He stepped away from his new job that he got on Thursday night. Because the thing is, with the way media is now, man, it's like it's so many different things coming out. This story is pretty much gonna get buried, and the lawyers are gonna be able to handle it. That's my opinion. I think he's probably gonna get off scot-free. Now the brother might end up doing some time. They're probably gonna, now I'm no lawyer now. I'm just speaking from my heart, speaking from my head. The brothers are probably gonna get off with they're gonna try to change the manslaughter or self-defense or something like that. Now I don't know if he's gonna be able to swing that, but he's gonna have some real good lawyers, and they're gonna be spinning this story over the next couple of weeks. And so, I've gone over this in my head. A few months ago, I was thinking in my head, because I take my son to AAU ball games, basketball games, and I'm like, damn, man, we pay a lot of fees. Every tournament, you got to pay for the tournament. And you pay for the tournament as a team, then you got to pay fees to do the tournament, right? You got to pay an extra $50 for the weekend. And I'm like, damn, these fees are no joke. They add up. And then one day I was just driving and I had an epiphany. I was like, what if they made the basketball games free? Do you know how many more fights? There's already been shootings and fights and arguments and stuff. How many more fights would there be if they just let people in to a basketball game? Teenagers coming in to a basketball game randomly because they know it's free. They coming in there hanging out. It would be outright pandemonium. So I had that epiphany, and it kind of helped me in my heart pay those crazy fees all the time. It gives a little bit of safety. Also, when I see that security guard standing there, he's armed, he's strapped, and they got people watching the doors. And I feel even better when they start checking bags and they got the metal detectors and they don't play none of that stuff. So it's crazy, man. Like, we down here, man, we got 9-year-old kids. My son, I'm keeping him in flag football probably until he gets into like the 9th or 10th grade, because I feel like, if he's going to get a scholarship in football, like, football is one of those sports that you can catch up in. You can catch up. You can start late and you can catch up. Basketball, soccer, baseball, you got to kind of start those things early. And I could be wrong. I'm not a freaking genius, right? But in my mind, in my experience, from what I see from a physical standpoint, football is a sport that you can start a little later. You don't have to be doing that at 9, 10 years old, because if you want your kids to be competitive, you do have to put them out there in those environments where you just kind of out on the field. You got all sorts of different characters out there, and you got people who own their little leagues. And it's not like soccer. Soccer is a little bit different. Now, those parents can get crazy in soccer, but soccer, you paying $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, boom, one shot, and the games it's just like a different atmosphere. Basketball, it might be a little similar to football, but honestly, I haven't been to football in a long time because my kids are not in tackle football just yet, But it's the environment, man, that kind of turns me off, and things like this, man. I'm going to be watching this case, and I know a lot of people in the area that live in my area that knew this coach is going to be like closely watching. The family is calling for Aqib Talib to be taken in. With that money and those lawyers, I highly doubt that's going to be the case. He's probably going to get off scot-free, so hopefully they can get some justice through the brothers. Now, things might turn around, I don't know, but that's pretty much the way the world works, man. So, man, just keep your head on the swivel, man. Like, if you see something escalating and you're at one of these games, you know, you could be just keep your head on the swivel. You can be an umpire, you can be a coach, whatever. These parents are getting crazy over 9 and 10-year-olds, man. But anyway, that's all I got for this one, man. I'll see you on the next one.